Okay, so Merry Christmas and all that stuff. My wife's watching The Grinch in the other room. We're drinking wine on this beautiful Saturday night. We've been listening to Christmas music and having fun. And one of the things that people have been asking me to give them is the pomo command that I have that I use. So I'm going to do a really quick video on this. I mean, I've done videos on it before, but I recently added some new stuff to it. So I'm going to go ahead and add that and show everybody how to do it. So first of all, what are we talking about? We're talking about the Pomodoro method, and I'm going to let you grep that. Okay, I'm gonna let you grep that. In fact, let me make a video, make a thing about this. What is Pomo and how do I get it? I get this question all the time. So, Pomo is the Pomodoro method for time management. And I'll just give you the short version. It's really popular, and it usually I think it's like four 20-minute sessions on with 5-minute breaks, and then like a I don't know, some like bigger break, but that never works for coding, so I don't do that. So I wanted to have a Pomo timer that I could change up and do everything. You guys have probably seen this in the upper right corner here. So actually, let me turn mine on. So mine, I have a different one, right? So I have a version that's been composed into my monolith Z command, and then I have another separate one that I'm going to help set up. I'll show you how to do it. So Z pomo start, and then in this case I actually just added this. I added this hour. If I put hour, it'll add a pomo over here. That'll set its duration to the top of the next hour. So that's how many minutes I have until the beginning of the next hour. And then I take a 10-minute break at the top of the hour. I know that that's not, strictly speaking, that's not the Pomo method. It just works for me as a coder. And in fact, it ends up being too frequent even most of the time because I get really into stuff over 2 hours. But you might want to change that duration. You could do Pomo start, I don't know, if you wanted to, you could do, 2 hours, right? And then you get like a 2-hour thing over there, right? And the Pomo has lots of settings that you can look at. You can go do Pomo and then do var data, and that'll show you all the internal settings. This is all the stuff that it does to keep track of everything. That's a mistake. Some of that stuff's a mistake, but that's okay. Oh no, that's because it's all in the Z command. That's right. I forgot. I got to make the Z command filter out. So you won't get that when we do the Pomo. So first steps. Do you even want to do it, right? So if you want to do it, if this is the kind of thing you want, you can change the tomato and all that stuff. It starts blinking when it gets to a certain duration. You can read about it. And yes. And so you could go ahead and do the thing. You could, so first of all, how do you get it, right? So, well, yeah, it's a command line thing. So if you don't have the command line, I can't cover that right now, right? You got to get yourself a command line, whether it's Mac, Windows. WSL2 does work. It's the WSL2. Be sure, by the way, if you get WSL2, make sure that you have the right terminal and everything, because colors and stuff don't always play well on Windows, but they work without a problem on Mac, and they work without a problem on Linux, of course. So, and I'm on, just so you know, I'm on Linux right now in a VMware. I'm running a Ubuntu server that I've SSH'd into, even though I'm running Windows on my desktop. So where do I get this thing? Well, if you know how to use curl, you can just go ahead and curl it down. But I'm going to show you where to go if you don't know how to use curl. I was talking about Scratch the other day. So go to github.com/rbxrob/pomo and POMO. And this is it. Pomodoro Bonzai branch. I'm not going to talk about Bonzai right now, but the reason this is a Bonzai branch. So that means you can compose it into another monolith and make it part of a bigger thing that you can just pass around to whatever computer you want to use without having to copy a bunch of scripts like you would have to do if you were doing a whole bunch of dot file scripts or something. So, and then here's how you do tab completion. We're going to do that. You just set up this, because all Bonzai branches have built-in tab completion for Bash. Eventually maybe for other things, but I'm not going to add it. Somebody will have to add it. And then this shows you how to add it to TMUX so that it shows up every second in the corner of your TMUX window. And so it's pretty basic, but you can go there and read about it. And I just tonight, for the first time, because I finally made it easier to do, I actually added some binary releases. So if you don't even want to bother with the hassle of doing the other Go install or installing Go and all that stuff. You just want to go get the binary and have it work, right? You should be able to do that. So if you can just click on it, obviously, and download it to your downloads directory and move it around, or you can do the terminal way to do this, which is just use curl. And the way you do that is, first of all, just like anything on the command line, you have to have it in your path. If you don't know what your path is, this is mine. This is your path. It has to be one of these directories. That's the only place. Oh, I got a problem there. But that's the only place that your system looks to run things. If they don't, you can have a script or an executable anywhere else, and you can run it just by doing / whatever. If I had a pomo, if I want that right there, but you really don't want that, right? You want to be able to run this from anywhere. So you need to put it in one of these directories, and that's going to be the thing. If people don't know terminal, they're gonna have to learn that. You can drag it around if you want to use some sort of stupid graphic interface, or you can just go to the place you want it and then curl it down, right? Normally you would check this, but if you're curling over HTTPS, it's relatively safe to do that. So where am I going to put it? Well, I have created my favorite place to put this, and I suggest everybody have one. Is rwxrob.local.bin. If you, by the way, if you want to learn how to manage your path, I'm going to just divert a little bit on this. There in my dot files, rwxrob/dot, you can go see all of the stuff I have for my path management. Okay, I cannot stress enough how valuable it is to have a path append and a path prepend function, and then managing your path this way, because then you can take the same bashrc file and you can use it for work or other places like that. And so what this does is this builds up from whatever the other path is and puts it on there. People mistakenly add to the end of their, all caps path environment variable all the time and end up with redundancies in there. They trick them up later and all kinds of things. So you might want to go look at this. There's a separate video on that, but that's, if you don't know about paths, that's what's up with paths. Okay. So, let's go back. So we're back to our path. So we've created a path. It's really great having a .local bin, because then you have to ask your system administrator or do it as root or something. So let's go in there. Let's go into tilde/.local/bin, and we're going to use a curl command. We got stuff already down here, but we're going to use a curl command to get that binary. And add the video to the description eventually, but we're not doing that right now. This is This is just a temporary break. So anyway, let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and get, if you're talking about the keg, yeah, I definitely will do that. I always do that. So here's our binary. Now you can probably figure this out just by looking at it, right? You can click on it and it will get you, kind of a URL down there you can go look at. But here's something magical. You can download anything on GitHub by going to the latest release. And I am going to go take a moment to look up the one that I already have documented here. I should probably put this document. Let me see here, docs. No, where am I? Oh, where am I? Oh, okay, I went to the right thing. Yeah. So here we go. So this is how you can install pretty much anything, right? So curl-l, which says redirect. In case it has a redirect, this is the magic. You put latest here, right? And then you put the name of the binary, and then -o, you have to tell it what you want to name it. Now, and this is for keg, so we're going to use one for pomo, same exact line, right? So, I mean, you can type that. I'm going to try to remember it, see if I can do this offhand. So there's the name of the repo, and then releases, latest, download, and then the binary name, and then, of course, where we want it to be later. We probably don't want that other name. So let's try it. So let's say curl-F, so the redirect works, https, github.com, rwxrob/pomo /releases /latest /down, is it download or loads? Download, okay, download / and then the name. So I want one for Linux, so I'm going to get pomo dash, what is it? Linux dash, I don't remember, AMD 64. All right, 64, and then -o, and I want to call it pomo. Let's call it, yeah, pomo. All right, so that should get the binary. Now it's downloading it, and we can look for it. Oh, hey, there it is. So you can see it. And of course, it's, it can't run it. If I do pomo, it'll be like, I'm sorry, you're not executable, right? Well, normally this is the step where you'd look at the file or run it against a checksum or something like that. But we're just going to chmod plus x it. Schmox is chmod plus x. Schmod plus X, which I hate typing. So we type that out, Schmod plus X pomo. And now we should have a pomo command, right? So now I can run, oh wait, let's turn on the completion. So complete, this is bash completion. It's built in. It's also built into the Bonzai stuff. Pomo. This, by the way, that only works in bash. Unfortunately, Z Shell does not have internal completion. It's one of the reasons Z Shell is brain dead, in my opinion. I would never use it. But complete -c pomo, and then you can do pomo tab, and you can see all the different commands, right? There's lots of stuff that's built in. You can read about it just by pushing enter. Oops, sorry. You have to do help on this one because the default is to do a thing. So you do pomo. It worked. You got yours to work. Nice. So pomo setter print a countdown timer with the tomato. This is a beautiful, wonderful, now page supported Bonzai stuff, which I spent a tremendous amount of time on last year, and I've been perfecting over this year. I'm so proud of the Bonzai project. It's my baby. I love it. Because I can just read everything. I can write all my documentation in the portable man pages that travel with the binaries. I don't have to have separate. It's really just fantastic. And that's what Pomo is. Pomo has got that all built in. So here we get all of our aliases and stuff. You can change the durations. You can play around with all the settings here. But it's probably wise for you to just do Pomo init. So if you do Pomo init, what that do, well, actually you can go read about it. Let's read about what Pomo init does. So read about Pomo init. Pomo init sets all values to the defaults. Help is blah, blah, blah. The init command sets all the cache variables to their initial values. Any variable name from conf will be used to initialize if defined. Otherwise, the following hardcore package globals can be used. So this is the stateful part of stateful command trees. All Bonzai trees have, most all of them have a conf and a vars, which is maintained in your home directory under .config or under whatever. And you can go in there and you can save those things, your .dot files, and keep them around. And so you have a cache and then a config. A config is kind of more persistent, and the cache, if it goes away, don't care. The config is where you put your defaults. So if you wanted to put your defaults there, you could do that. But if we do pomo conf like this, we put pomo conf data, you'll see that there's no data in there. But if we do pomo var data, we should see that there is also no data in there. So we haven't run anything. We're absolutely clean. But if we run pomo init, it will actually give us our var data. So that sets our var data, which goes into a file, and it's like super hyper easy to parse. And it does parse it actually every time it runs. It doesn't have to parse it every time because it saves a timestamp to it, but whatever. So if you wanted to go in there and actually mess with the vars, you could just do var edit, and that'll actually open it up, and you go change the things directly if you want to. Just make sure Pomo's not running when you do that. So that's some of the way to change the settings for it, and you can read about all that. All those things are also, I think, covered in the help. So you can like shortcuts. Here's the shortcuts: var set duration, warn, a prefix, and blah blah blah. Right. So if I just run Pomo right now, you'll see that it doesn't have anything because we haven't started it yet. So we're just going to accept the default duration, and we're going to say Pomo start, right? And now when we run Pomo, we get a number, right? So the default duration is 52 minutes. That's left over from long ago. I should probably change that. But if we, like I said, if we wanted to go to the top of the hour, so we have like a few minutes before the hour goes, you could also do Pomo start hour, and then it would change to 42 minutes and 30 seconds or whatever that is, right? So, and that's kind of nice. And this other number over here is still kind of left over from when I was doing 20-second clips. And this is kind of my ongoing clip thing. Now, if you want to just see it, you can just do this. You can just do watch Pomo, and that'll just give you an example of this. Runs every 2 seconds. If you want to change your watch to 1 second, you can dash N1 and you can run your Pomo, and you can just kind of get a sense of what it's doing right now. Obviously, you don't want to have to run a watch in the corner, so you might want to do something else with that. But you can see this is kind of annoying. Maybe you don't want that thing. If you don't want it, you can turn it off. I can't remember what it is though. This is good. var data. I think it's interval. It's the interval. It's the interval timer. So that's kind of nice if you want to have like intervals within your Pomo, right? Like you want to like really bust it out and then you get another 5-minute break. So like if you're doing interval training or something, and you could do that even within a larger Pomo group. So anyway, var, let's go ahead and do, I mean, there's lots of ways we can do this. We could do interval set intervals to empty. I don't know if that's going to work. We might have to do var set. Yeah. Okay. So that should get rid of the interval. Okay. So now our interval's gone, and we can do pomo var data, and you'll see that it's set to nothing. So if the interval's empty, it just doesn't bother showing it to you. But you're still wondering, well, how do I get this in my TMUX to show up? Okay. Well, so let's go edit the TMUX file. TMUX RC and whoopsie .conf. And there's a whole video I've done and many about the boosts about how I do my TMUX. We're not going to get into that. We're just going to go straight for the pomo. So anytime you put a hashtag in front of a parenthesized thing, it will run that pomo inside of there. Now I have zpomo, but you could change it to pomo like that. And if you're using my config, you can actually reload your TMUX config dynamically by using the leader key and then just R, and you see that reloaded, and it's now grabbing the pomo command, just the plain pomo command instead of zpomo. So you can actually have multiple pomo timers if you wanted to. You could have just for every different binary wherever you put it. In fact, if you change the name of your binary, Bonzai automatically changes the config and vars state to someplace else for that different command. So all you have to do is copy the command. In fact, you could just make a hard link to the command and have another one completely with totally different settings, just using the same binary. Yeah, it's cool. I know. So anyway, so status right length. I mean, who else is going to pat myself on the back? Anyway, you have to turn your status on, and in order for this to work, you need to set your interval status to 1 up here. Otherwise, it's not really useful, right? Because it's going to be annoying because it's going to, I mean, you could make it like 10 minutes if you want, or 5 or whatever, but that's how you get the granularity that we have here. I'm going to put mine back to zpomo, and I'm going to refresh so that it's using, now my TMUX is using this. Now, if you don't have that quick key, the R to do your refresh, you just have to restart your TMUX, right? And or actually, we could actually go look at the actual command if you want to type it in. Where is it? Where is it? It's a Unix system. It's a Unix system. That's not it. I'm trying to help you out here. I'm trying to find it. Reload. Is it reload? There we go. Okay, so bind-r our source file. Blam, and it grab. That's a really great line. I should do a whole. I'm going to do a whole video just on TMUX. Not to mention put it in my book. Yeah, I'm going to plug it. Terminal Velocity, coming out hopefully May the 4th next year. Mastering the fastest human computer interface. And it will include full breakdown of TMUX configuration, why you want to use it, and everything. So, but that's one of the things. Anyway, so if you add that, then, but if you don't have that, I think you can probably just run that. Actually, let's try that. I am challenged by this. So, you can do, this is the TMUX command, right? So this leader : whatever your leader is. I changed my leader to be the same as screen, which is Control A, but that's another story. And then we'll do this. We'll say source -5, just hit tab, tilde.tmux.conf, and that will like load up the new TMUX if you want to do that. If you don't want to have to get rid of all your entire session and go to it. And so then you can start, wondering why you're not getting some more stuff done with your new pomo command. HR is a shortcut for it. There we go. So I have 37 minutes before the top of the next hour, at which time I'll take another break. And in case you're wondering, on Twitch, that's when I do my talking. So I started doing this little video here because somebody was asking about it, and I decided to just make a video at the top of the hour. I try to fit them into that 10-minute period, but sometimes I don't make it. Just another invite to anybody to come on into the Twitch. Use the Twitch and the YouTube if you want to. And if you have recommendations, let me know for the pomo thing. You can go ahead and put those in there. Otherwise, we can just celebrate. I mean, there's a lot of good argument to not use it as a terminal thing and to put it like outside of your terminal, especially if you're a streamer, because I might be off the terminal, I might be out looking at a website or something, and you can't see my timer, and some people are probably looking at it. But for me, this has been plenty, and a lot of times I don't have graphic stuff up, and I don't necessarily need it. But that has been a successful test. Please, like and subscribe and follow on GitHub, especially if you like my repos. It actually is very worthwhile to me for you to follow the repos that you like. Because of the street cred it gives me and stuff like that, and maybe other people will notice it better, and maybe give some of the stuff a try. As a final thing, I will say that in order to update the Pomo to have the hour thing in there, I went in there and I updated my awesome Go list, and I added D time, which is so if you're into Go, and I mean I know that's not what this video is about, but if you're into Go, I went up there and I added D time, which is where I learned about peg for the first time. It's my first peg grammar I ever created. And then I use this to actually add top of the hour, which is now a function. That's now a function inside of the DTime library if you want to give that a look. And I mean, if that's the kind of thing, I mean, any of this code, if people ask all the time, how do I learn how to code? Well, go to awesome-go, mine or somebody else's, and just read through the code that's there. Preferably find somebody that, you reasonably trust them to write good code. And then you could just go look at it, go look at what's going on. You take a peek at it, and that will be it. That's where you can go. You can go do all of that. All right, we'll talk to you later.